What's up, dogs and dogettes? Welcome back to the NFL Pick'em series with your Harkdawg 25, week 11 already, and boy, I am in a mid-season slump. 6 wins 2 weeks ago, 5 wins last week, 3 a few weekends ago. Vegas is winning their money back. Let's put it that way. They are definitely winning their money back. Anyways, let's look at our totals here. Last week, I was 5-9 win-loss, 5-9 versus spread. Terrible. Look at that. I'm almost back to 500 versus the spread. 73-70, 4 ties, 85-61 win-loss. So I need some good weeks. I have projections on what I need to do to win every year. I'm 10 behind my projections already, so I should be at 83. And I was well ahead of projections through the first 6 weeks and just been falling off the map. Let's take a look at Fitz Canada. He was 6-8 straight up, 6-8 against the spread. So he beat me by 1 in each. Total 91-55, so he's doing really well straight up, and 51-43 and 4 against the spread. He's beaten me against the spread. He has definitely come back on me. So let's get into the games real quick here. Notice I'm not wearing a jersey, so I've been changing jerseys because the Packers lost. I was like, oh yeah, well, I'll go to the Bengals. Maybe Packers win. Nope. Then I started wearing Bengals jerseys. The Bengals lost. So I'm just not wearing a jersey. I'm wearing what I wore to work today. Because Green Bay and Wisconsin and Cincinnati need to put in some serious work this weekend and get some wins because they got some tough opponents in Minnesota and Arizona. So let's get into the games. Jacksonville, Thursday night game. Jacksonville favored by 3 at home against Tennessee. Jacksonville's looking up. They're turning up. They got Robinson. They got Hearns. Hearns has got a touchdown pass like every week. Bortles is doing well. Yeldon, if he does halfway decent on running the ball, and the defense kind of shows up to stop Mariota. Tennessee just doesn't have a running game. Antonio Andrews is not that good. David Cobb is a rookie. They're going to kind of want to see what he does. This is another lost season for him. New coach. The interim took over. They played well. They beat New Orleans, but everybody beats New Orleans. I mean, their defense is terrible. We'll get to that later. But I think Jacksonville at home is going to cover this 3 points and win. I think Tennessee is in line for another top 5 pick, and they might be looking good in a couple years, especially with Mariota at the helm. Get a good running back next year, or a big wide receiver, because they don't have much outside Delaney Walker and Kendall Wright. I mean, I can't name any other receivers there. I can't even name a defensive player that's a standout there. So Jacksonville this game. Then Sunday game, Detroit at home. Underdogs by 2 points against the Oakland Raiders. And I have Oakland in this game. I feel like Derek Carr with Amari Cooper, Crabtree, and Charles Woodson, my boy Charles Woodson. Safety is going to pick off Matthew Stafford at least once. Kelvin Johnson's a shell of himself. Golden Tate's running in his mouth. Matt Stafford isn't that great, even though they beat the Packers last weekend. I mean, the Packers beat themselves. I mean, in Lambeau, the Packers have to beat themselves to lose in Lambeau, and they definitely did that. We'll get to that later. But anyways, I got Oakland win this game. I feel like Amari and Crabtree and Carr could have a good rapport. Latavius Murray's going to run outside the tackles, get some good yardage, keep Detroit on their heels, and they're going to win this game probably by a touchdown. But don't take my word for it, because the last 2 weeks, if anything, my word has been dead wrong. Then Atlanta favored by 6 points at home against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts without Andrew Luck with a lacerated kidney or something like that. That sounds pretty major. I guess you won't have to have surgery, but you lacerate an organ, it's not good. Atlanta's coming off the bye. Freeman, Julio, Matt Ryan, Roddy White. That offense is going to be putting up some points, I think, this week against a mediocre Indianapolis defense. And Matt Hasselbeck is not going to put up as many points, with the likes of Old Man Gore, Old Man Andre Johnson, and then a young T.Y. Hilton. But it's just an old team. They need turnover. Luck was the turnover. Luck is out. And now Hasselbeck's going to be the one that's turning it over, if you know what I mean. So Atlanta in this game. Next game, Houston at home. Underdogs by 2.5 points against the New York Jets. Now Houston coming off that big win against Cincinnati. Cincinnati just handed them the game. Too many penalties, too many drops, too many fumbles. Dalton was off. The defense was off. I mean, TJ Yates beats him again. Just like TJ Yates beat him in the playoffs like 3 years ago. How do you lose to a backup like that? And you're an 8-0 team. I don't know. I have no idea. But I have the Jets in this one. Fitzpatrick, 10 days rest with that thumb. Marshall, 10 days rest. Decker, 10 days rest. Chris Ivory, 10 days rest since they played last Thursday. I think they're going to come into Houston in the Dome. You know, decent weather, obviously. Yeah, it's perfect playing conditions. And they're going to take it to Houston. They'll probably win. They'll definitely win and cover the spread. I'm not going to give any point spreads because I'm not even close on those. Then Philadelphia at home, favored by 6 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay beating Dallas 10-6. How does Dallas only score 6 points against Tampa Bay? I mean, your defense allows 10 points, and you lose. 2 games last week were 10-6, which is just, it's crazy that there's no offense in some of these games. But Philly starting Mark Sanchez now that Bradford dislocated his non-throwing shoulder. And Sanchez is a turnover machine, as we saw last week, as he turned it over and they lost to the Dolphins at home. I think Philly will win this game, but I think it's only going to be by field goal. I think Doug Martin's going to have a decent game. Mike Evans, Vincent Jackson, and Jameis isn't turning the ball over that much, and that's what keeping them in games. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay covering, Philly winning. Next game, Chicago Bears at home. Underdogs by 2 points against the Denver Broncos. The non-Peyton Manning-led Denver Broncos. Boy, it sounds weird to say. After getting benched, having a 0.0 QB rating. They brought in Brock Osweiler, and the Chiefs just manhandled that Denver offense. And Manning just doesn't have it. He can't throw the long ball. He doesn't have a zip to throw the out patterns, the long out patterns to the sideline. And Cutler's playing well. He's not turning the ball over. Fox is dealing with what he has there, and they're putting out a good product. They crushed St. Louis. I didn't think they'd beat St. Louis last week, but they crushed St. Louis in St. Louis. I watched that game, and Langford's looking good. Even if Forte's back, I think they're going to still mix Langford in a little bit. Jeffrey's going to be healthier this week. Martellus Bennett and Zach Miller. Where did he come from? That's crazy. So they kind of got a 2 tight end double threat there. So I got Chicago winning and covering this game, believe it or not, because I don't think Brock Osweiler is going to do too well. It's going to be a low-scoring game, probably like a 17-14, because I think Denver's defense is going to get their hands on a couple of Jay Cutler's balls, and not the ones that he wears around, as a man. Footballs is where I'm going with that. So Chicago in that game. Next game, Minnesota favored by 0.5 points at home against my Green Bay Packers. Minnesota, 5-game winning streak, looking very tough. AP running all over the opponents. Bridgewater doing enough. The defense doing enough. They took it to Oakland, though, last week, which was kind of surprising. But they got ahead, and Oakland just didn't have it. But I can't go against Green Bay. It's a pick'em game. Green Bay's got to show some intensity, some flash, some fire. There's no urgency. It's just complacency, and you saw it a little bit in the fourth quarter last week. You saw it in the fourth quarter against Carolina. Where's that in the first half? They're just not putting up any points right away. They're not jumping out to the fast leads and then relegating their defense to hold them and turn the ball over so we can get more points. They get a lead early on Minnesota. They go up 14-3, 10-3 like that into the second quarter. I think they're going to find it very tough to lose that game because I think Teddy Bridgewater just doesn't have enough to bring them back. So I got Green Bay in this game, going with my heart. Going with the heart. Next game, Baltimore at home, favored by 1.5 points against the St. Louis Rams. Now the Rams, they're benching Nick Foles for Casey Kasem, whatever his name is. He used to start in Houston. And Baltimore, Did they come off a win last week? I don't think they did. I think they lost to Jacksonville. Yeah, they lost to Jacksonville. Baltimore at home, though. I think Flacco is going to outduel Casey. And I think Gurley is going to be their only option. If he has a big day, they got a chance. But if they stop him, kind of like the Bears kind of contained him, Flacco and Forsett, Kamar Aiken, I think they'll do enough to win that game. So I've got Baltimore winning and covering this game. Then, Miami Dolphins at home against the Tony Romo-led Dallas Cowboys. He's back, and Dez is going to be happy. Miami's favored by a half a point. I got Dallas in this game. With Romo back, I think he's going to outduel Miami. I think Dallas is going to be juiced up. They've lost 7 in a row. They got to get a win. They even keep their playoff hopes alive. They got to win out, basically, to have a chance. So I think Dallas in a must-win sitch that they're going to win, especially with Romo at the helm there. Next game, Carolina Panthers favored by 7 points against the Washington Redskins. I got Washington covering the spread in this game. Carolina has to have a letdown game here. And Washington is flying right now. Last couple weeks, they've played well. They crushed New Orleans last week. I didn't even see that coming. But Kirk Cousins throwing the ball really well. Matt Jones looking good. I'm glad he did because he is on my fantasy team. I picked him up. Oh, thank you. And Deshaun Jackson is back. So they have all their offensive weapons back, which is key. And if they get ahead early in Carolina, it's going to be a dogfight for Carolina to come back. Because Washington has a decent defense. And now if they have an offense to complement that, it's going to be very tough for Carolina. They might actually lose this game. You know what? I'm picking it. Upset special. I'm calling it. Washington beats Carolina this week. And covers the spread, obviously. Upset special. Wish I had an upset alert. You know, kind of banner that I could hold up. But you heard it here. You heard it here first. Next game. Arizona at home. Favored by 3 against Cincinnati Bengals. Arizona at home. They got the better QB. They have the better defense in my eyes. The better special teams. And the better coach. So I'm going to pick Arizona to win and cover this game. Cincinnati coming off a letdown. It's going to be tough to travel to Arizona after that letdown on a short week. Traveling cross country. They're going to be tired. They're going to be beat up. Maybe not as confident as an 8-0 team. Granted, they weren't that confident this past Monday. But Dalton, he'll make some plays. But I think Arizona is ultimately going to do enough like they did in Seattle and win and cover this game. Speaking of Seattle, they are favored by 12 points against the San Francisco Blaine Gabbert-led San Francisco 49ers. And San Francisco going into Seattle, this is just going to be a hotbed for crushing. Just like Seattle crushed them earlier. Blaine Gabbert in Seattle. Seattle is in a must-win situation. They're 4-5. 12th man. I just don't see them losing and not covering the spread. Definitely not losing. But I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. It's going to be like a 28-13 type game. And San Francisco is going to struggle to get those 13 points. Then next game, Sunday Night Football, San Diego at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs are favored by 3 points. San Diego just doesn't have receivers. With Keenan Allen out, Malcolm Floyd injured. Stevie Johnson's got to step up. Gates has got to step up. Ladarius Green's still hurt. Melvin Gordon hasn't really done much. Danny Woodhead is like their biggest threat. And he comes out of the backfield and he's 5'9". And Kansas City has a good secondary, good linebackers, and a good front four. Add that all up, and Kansas City's going to win this game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think 24-20. It's going to be close, but I think Kansas City's going to win and cover because Kansas City needs a running game. They have that in Charkandrick West, and Alex Smith is a game manager. He's not going to turn the ball over. So, and what they did to Denver is kind of a prequel of what they'll do to San Diego, even though San Diego has a better QB than Denver has right now. So Kansas City in that game. Then Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots favored by a touchdown against the Rex Ryan-led Buffalo Bills. And I just think Belichick is going to take the paddle and just paddle Rex Ryan's behind in this game. I feel like a 10-point win minimum, maybe a 34-24. New England's going to put up points. Even without Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola is going to step up. He's going to have to. Brandon LaFell came back just in time to fill that void. So Brandon LaFell is going to get a lot of targets. Gronk, obviously. So Buffalo's going to be playing catch-up all night. And I feel like New England is going to win and cover this game. Now, those are the picks. Remember to leave your picks below. Yeah, do it in Fitz's manner because he does it really well. The game, then cover or win and cover or cover and win or both. It's easy to figure out. And see if you can beat me and see if you can beat Fitz. Fitz has been dominating. So, anyways, we'll see you all next week, and good luck in your fantasy, and good luck. Oh, I just gotta say one thing about fantasy. I am 7-3 in one league, and I need a win this week. So if I win, I'll be in the playoffs in my big league. So here's hoping. If I get a couple wins in the other league, I'm 2-8 in one league, but then I'm like above 500 in the other 3. So it's really interesting. So I'm hoping to get some wins, and I'm hoping to get a win and pick them, honestly. So good luck to you, good luck to me, good luck to all. We'll see you next week.